Hello, beautiful people. I worked on something about web scraping and I wanted to create a tutorial for it so that I could share with you how I have coded everything. And the time when I was recording the video, I saw that the quality of the video would not be okay. More so when I was trying to get to the expert of particular element in web scraping. So if you don't know what expert is, this is what expert is. Hopefully I'll put the definition here. Yeah, so I was recording and it wasn't so clear, and I got frustrated and I decided not to record the tutorial. Because of that, then we don't have a tutorial for this week. But still, since I completed the project, I felt like good I share with you what the project is about. It is about web scraping. I was scouting the internet to look for a site where I can find data that I can scrape from a website. And I found this website here. I'll show you. This website about World Economic Forum. I don't know much about what they do. I could put it in the screen after this during the edit, but what they have here is partners for World Economic Forum, and these partners are listed in a way that it gives a good challenge for web scraping, more so if you're using Selenium, where you will allow Selenium. Click on a particular link, then go to another link and scrape information from there. So this is basically what my plan was, to complete this project and create a tutorial for it, but the tutorial was not successful. So I will just take you through the code in the project. So we have seen this, and I could just take you through what this code is about. It is not as clean code as you may expect, but it's something that's working. So the purpose of the project was to get information about the partners of the World Economic Forum, and the information we wanted, for example, for ABB, would want the name of the partner and the description of the partner, the headquarters where the partner is, and then the link to the website, and save it somewhere either in a database or in a CSV. And do that for all the partners who are listed within this site. And that was the challenge. And I completed that challenge, and I could not do the tutorial for you. So I'll just take you through the project. So the first thing that I did on this project was to create the constants. And these constants here contain variables that are static for the project. So these are variables that are not changing now, and if they are to change, they are still static. You'll have to go back to the site and get them. So the first thing is the website. That is the link to the website here. I think this is what you can see up here. Then the next things were the expert. If you don't know what an expert is, here, let's put it this side. Here is the definition of what an expert is. And we are using Selenium. Also, if you don't know what Selenium is, here is the definition of what Selenium is. But basically, Selenium is a software that helps you to do testing, feature testing of a website. And we can use that software to do web scraping. And then an expert is a path to an element. It's like how you can move from the root of a page, a HTML page, up to where you reach an element. In Selenium, they call them nodes. So an expert is the direction you take us from the root, be a body, to the element. And here we have, for example, organization hyperlinks expert is this, and that is the link to this is organization hyperlink. So to the organization link here. So like this link to this, to the link to this organization here, this one here that you're seeing down. Then all these links and the ones you can find through this expert. We could try to copy this and maybe go into developer tools and then hit Control F inside here and paste that XPath, and it will show you this item. So you can see the highlighted item on the right is the link, and you can see this is an anchor tag down here, and what we're looking for is the href of the anchor tag. Right, so these are the XPath for the different elements that we see that it is important for the data that we're looking for. For example, we may want the title of this, so we'll look for the XPath to this, and it will help us to script. So the first file was to have the static elements. Then the next file was to define, the next step was to define the driver that we're going to use. So in this case, we are using Selenium to define a web driver. And a driver is basically a module in this project that simulates human interaction with a web browser. So it will help you to launch a web browser. It helps you to send a GET request for particular pages based on the URL, and then it helps you to interact with the pages. So here we have the definition of the web driver. Then the service is a service that helps you to call the driver using the Chrome driver manager. So here we're using Google Chrome as a browser, and then the driver is defined using WebDriver, and then the service, we're going to use this service with the driver from the Chrome to define the web driver. Then the options, just extra properties of the driver. So the first class that we are making here is the make driver class, and the make driver class is a class that helps us to define the driver. So when you are instantiating the class, the constructor here is telling us that we only need to pass a URL, which is a string. For our case, the URL would be the website that we saw in the constants file. So if we open the constants, this website, we could pass it here to define it. Then the first method in the web driver So the first method of the web driver class is to help us to define the driver itself. So here we are trying to define the characteristics of the driver, more properties, like if it was to launch a window, how big would the window look like? So that is the window size. Do we want the driver to run headless? So headless means that the driver will not launch Google Chrome on your operating system to be seen as a UI. It will just run on the background. So we would like to run headless because sometimes we're running servers that don't have user interactions through user interfaces. Then the user agent here is just to simulate interaction with the website, like as if it is a human interaction. Then that user is what we have added here in the options. Then we want whenever the window is launched or whenever the driver is interacting, it should be detached so that we don't automatically close the browser when the driver is still functioning. So this is why we have the detachment in the experimental options and struct. So this is the definition of the driver. Then we use the web driver and we specify Chrome, and then the service that we are using is Chrome Driver Manager. Instead of putting a link to a driver that you download from the internet, you could just use this function that will help you to fix that. I'm using the driver version, this. And then the options, so these are the extra functionalities that we've added for our website driver, and then we add it as an attribute to this class. Then we also have this function here for destroying the driver, and this is just quitting the whole driver it will kill it, and it will also quit the window if the window is open. So this is the definition for the driver. The next thing that we do now is to make use of this driver, and what we wanted is now to scrape this site. So the next thing we are going to do is to define the crawler, and we can see here that we have imported all the constants that we put in the constants file, so it makes our code more readable and more clean. We are using pandas for data manipulation, make driver, which we have defined here. Then driver wait, this is a method that will help us to wait for elements to load. Sometimes it takes long for an element that you're looking for to fully load, and Selenium will throw errors telling you that that element is not in the site that you have called. So we use WebDriver wait to wait, and then this is the expected condition, and then this is when we are looking for an element by a certain criteria, and then this is the time for date. We log information so that we know the progress of the crawler. So we have the class crawler. The class crawler, when you call it, it has this condition, and this is just a stopping condition because we're going to be using a loop, majorly a while loop, because we never know when we are to stop fetching the data. And then we have the first method here is used to fetch the URLs that link to the page that has information. What I'm meaning is these URLs here, for each of these, all the hyperlinks here and here, then you go to B, the hyperlinks here, all of this, then you go to C up to the end. All those hyperlinks are first fetched and they are saved into a CSV file, and the method that helps us to do that is here. I'm not going to explain everything here. The code is in the description if you want to interact with it, but majorly I will explain what each method is doing. So this method here helps us to get those links. After running this method, we got this file here. Not this file, this file here. So it is showing us the partner type, so strategic partnership, with the link to the information about that partner. So here you're saying that this is strategic partnership, and the link, for example, for BB, this link here, ABB Limited, so you can see here, that is the same link here. So we got all the links from there and save it in this file. And what did that was this method here called, it is in where crawl. It's in the crawler. So fetch URLs helps us to fetch that. Then we have another method called fetch data. So what fetch data does is it goes into the URLs that you have fetched and loops through each of them to land into their respective pages. For example, let's go back to the ABB one. It loops through each URL and then it opens this page here, and then from there now we can get the information about the partner, and then we can save it somewhere. So when we go back here to the crawler, we have fetch data, and that is what it does. So it reads the CSV that we created using the first method. Then after it reads it, it also reads the final CSV in case we have data into it. And then after that, we filter off the links. So we know that we are looping, and sometimes these sites can identify that you have been accessing it several times and it can stop. So what happens is that for each partner that we loop and get data, we save it inside the CSV here. And when it stops, we can run it again. And when we run it, we shall read the two data frames, and then we filter the links data frame, which has the links that we are scraping. We filter off those that we already read the partners from. And then in case this links data frame is now empty, then we can say that we are done. We have fetched everything. The rest of this information is just using XPath to get the information about our partner. Yeah, and this is just a helper function that will help us to do some bit of cleaning. Then the last bit is the main file, and in the main file we just have this this condition where if we are to run this main file, we define the crawler, then we fetch the URLs, and then we set the condition which is true. So while the condition is true, we run fetch data, which will be populating this list of this CSV of information about the organizations. Then in case it is stopped, in case maybe the site has identified that we have been accessing it for long, we wait for a minute, then we try again. In case again we are identified, we are going to wait for an hour, then we try again. And then the stopping condition is inside the crawler here. I already showed you. The stopping condition is here, so that if we try again and the length of the links data frame is 0, because we have already scraped all the links data for all the partners, then it will be raising exceptions until the condition is false. And when the condition is false, that condition will be attached here to this condition, and this will be false, and this will be false, and then that will be the stopping condition. Yeah, so it has been a very big project by day for one day, and to put this into a tutorial would be a very long tutorial, and I doubt if the audience of this channel are ready for a tutorial. But if you're ready for a tutorial, then leave a like. If we have something like 50 likes, we don't have so many viewers here, so if we have 50 likes, then I may make a tutorial for this. But I just wanted to show you what I have been working on this weekend. Hopefully you've enjoyed. You can find the code, the link to the code in the description. It's a GitHub repository, and you can use that data the way you wish for your own personal projects. Hopefully I can use it next week, you'll never know. Apart from that, hopefully you've learned something or you've entertained yourself looking at the code. But if you have not, please still leave a like, and thank you for watching up to now. But if you have enjoyed, I think the next video here is good for you to learn about Pig Walker if you have not watched it. Subscribe if you have not. Until next week, have fun and live peacefully.